Hello, and welcome to Tanner's presentation on perception. I'd like to thank the audience for being here. Time is not free. Your presence is appreciated. What is perception? Nobody? Perception is the active process of selecting, organizing, and interpreting what can be perceived.
Anything.
The world. Anything?
Everything.
Everything? People, objects, events, situations, and activities can all be perceived by someone. What does it mean when someone uses perception? Perception means that we as individuals select things to notice. Once noticed, we tend to organize these things and make our own interpretations about them. We don't see things as they are, we see them as we are. Selection. Do you smell the candles burning around you? Do you hear the traffic going by outside? Do you hear the cat scraping in the litter box? Chances are you are not conscious of most of these things happening around you. Why is this? It is because you have chosen to pay attention and retain the information provided to you within this PowerPoint. You are selectively attending to what you believe is important right now, allowing all other things, such as the candles, the traffic, and the cat, and the litter box, to go unnoticed. It is our needs, interests, and motives that influence what we choose to notice and attend to, what we select to pay attention to. Organization. We organize the information we notice or select to notice in meaningful ways. There is a theory called constructivism theory that states we organize and interpret experiences by applying cognitive structures called cognitive schemata, or just schemata, to make sense of phenomena. There are 4 types of cognitive structures that we rely on to make sense of phenomena. Prototypes, personal constructs, stereotypes, and scripts. Prototypes are knowledge structures that define the clearest or ideal examples of some category. Prototypes are useful because it allows us to group events, situations, people into broad categories. For example, Mom and Dad are model parents. Lauren exemplifies a great girlfriend. Tommy and Ethan are ideal friends. Personal constructs. Personal constructs are mental yardsticks that allow us to measure people and situation along bipolar dimensions of judgment. Personal constructs. Examples of personal constructs include such things as intelligent versus not intelligent, kind versus not kind, trustworthy versus not trustworthy, and humorous versus not humorous. Personal constructs allows us to make more detailed assessments of the particular qualities of phenomena. applying personal constructs. When perceiving a coworker, you are more inclined to rely on constructs such as reliable versus not reliable, or willing versus not willing. When perceiving a teacher, you are more likely to rely on constructs such as intelligent versus not intelligent, or personal versus not personal. When perceiving a friend, you are more likely to rely on constructs such as trustworthy versus not trustworthy. Stereotypes. A stereotype is a predictive generalization about a person or a situation, such as many of these. I am a vegetarian, so I must only eat vegetables. I wear glasses, so I must be a geek. I am a teenager, so I must be a trouble causer. I am a German, so I must be a Nazi. How do we stereotype? We as individuals place things in categories based on how it measures up against personal constructs we have applied, and then we predict what they will do. Also, more stereotypes. Texas, cowboys. Iowa, who cares? Florida, hurricanes. Maine, lobster. California, hippies. Because he is in a fraternity, he must party every night. We must know stereotypes may be accurate and they may be inaccurate. Sometimes we do not have an accurate understanding of a group, and therefore we make inaccurate stereotypes. Other times, some members of specific groups do not conform to what is typical of that specific group, again making our stereotype inaccurate. An individual may be in a fraternity to help their personal networks grow while getting a great education. This individual, even though is in a fraternity, may be found hitting the books every night. Even though we require stereotypes to predict what will happen, we must remember that stereotypes are selective, subjective, and not always accurate. Just because he is Asian does not mean he's good at math or comp science. Scripts. Scripts are sequences of activities that spell out how we and others are expected to act in specific situations. For example, when running into a friend who is at the grocery store with their wife that you've never met, and your friend introduces you to their wife, you do not have to think about what you are supposed to say. The meeting a new person script tells you that you should say hi, it's nice to meet you. People are not always aware of scripts, but scripts guide many of our daily activities. There are scripts for greeting casual friends. Hello, what's up, what's new? Texting your girlfriend or boyfriend. Hey hottie, I miss you. Talking with coworkers. How's this account going? Interacting with professors. Can I get an extension? Prototypes, personal constructs, stereotypes, and scripts are all schemata that we use to organize our thinking about different people in different situations. Interpretation is the subjective process of creating explanations for what we observe and experience. To interpret experiences, we often ask why something happens or why it is that people say, do, or don't do certain things. Attributions is the act in figuring out why of things, such as what it is, why we should care, how you found it, where can we find more, who made it, and etc. Attributions have 4 different dimensions: the internal, external locus, stability, specificity, and control. Internal and external locus. In an internal or dispositional attribution, people infer that an event or person's behavior is due to personal factors such as traits, abilities, and feelings. In an external or situational attribution, people infer that a person's behavior is due to situational factors. For example, of internal factors, he is hot-headed, she is short-tempered, he is ignorant. Examples of external factors: the long line irritated him, his girlfriend made him smile. Stability. This dimension suggests that the explanation of action is a result of stable, enduring factors that won't change over time, as well as temporary factors. Examples of unchanged stability include: she is an angry person, he is a nervous guy, she is open-minded. Examples of temporary stability include: he is nervous right now because it is his first date. She is angry because the project she is currently working on is difficult. He was irritated because the internet was down. Specificity. The explanation of actions as the result of global factors is considered specificity. Examples of specificity include: she is intelligent, he is gifted at science, and she is a big spender. Control is the responsibility for actions either to people themselves or to factors beyond people's personal control. Examples of control include: she does not try to control her spending, responsibility to self-action. He is a chemical imbalance, responsibility to factors outside the person's control. Self-serving bias. The attributions we make are also not always accurate. Researchers show that people tend to construct attributions that will serve our personal interests. This phenomena is called self-serving bias. It can be said that many people attribute positive actions and personal success to internal, stable factors. For example, one might attribute getting into law school to being smart and studying hard. Of course, the opposite holds true as well. People tend to attribute failure and negative actions to external and unstable events that are beyond the control of people. For example, someone didn't get into law school because the test was full of tricky questions, so regardless of how long and how hard they studied, it could not be achieved. The processes of perception. Perception involves three processes. The first is selection, noticing certain things and ignoring others. Second, organization, where we use prototypes, personal constructs, stereotypes, and scripts. Third and last is interpretation, making sense of the perceptions that have been gathered and organized. Influences of perception. Physiological factors, expectation, cognitive abilities, and social roles. Physiological factors. Differences in sensory abilities allows for many differences in perception between different people. Food that one person loves actually is intolerable to others. What one person finds attractive smell may be repulsive to others. Physiological factors continued. Also, mood or emotions tend to influence people's perception. If someone is tired, upset, or sick, they are more likely to perceive things more negative than someone who is well. For example, if a friend is giving constructive criticism to someone who is sick, the sick individual may be more bothered by the criticism than if he were healthy. Expectation factors. Expectations affect our perceptions. Suppose that you were told your new boss is extremely laid back. Having been told how your new boss is in relation to work-related duties, you may expect that he will, in fact, be laid back. If you were told by a friend that the new girlfriend is the most beautiful woman in the world, you may expect, in fact, that she is attractive. The influence of expectation on communication is the basis of positive visualization. Positive visualization is a technique used to enhance the success and situations by urging people to visualize themselves positively. It is said that if someone is to visualize their success in situations, that their perception of themselves succeeding may actually increase chances of overall success. Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. Expectancy violation theory. The expectancy violation theory answers the questions concerning what happens when our expectations are violated. Research shows that when people's expectations are violated, they become more cognitively alert as they struggle to understand the unexpected behaviors. Aspects of a violation of expectations. People's interpretations are different by whether the violation is positive. For example, someone gives you a coffee at the beginning of the day. People's interpretations are affected by whether the behavior deviates from what people expected. For example, if your girlfriend typically supports you in everything you do, but then out of nowhere doesn't support your decision in getting a new vehicle. People's interpretations are affected by the impact of the violation on a specific relationship. For example, if your friend had promised to make you the best man in the wedding, but then picked somebody else. Cognitive abilities. How elaborately people think about different situations and different people, and the extent of people's knowledge of the like affect how they select, organize, and interpret different experiences. Different people differ in the number and types of knowledge schemata they use to organize and interpret people and situations. For example, children have fairly simple cognitive abilities, while adults have greater cognitive complexity. The greater the cognitive complexity allows for greater accuracy of perceptions. Social roles. Individual social roles also influence perceptions and their communication. The roles that are expected of us in society can be perceived by others and interpreted. For example, a teacher may perceive the class as interested if they have completed the assigned reading. And this concludes the presentation on perception.